I am in pain. However I try to meet it, I do not come to the totality of the fact. It invariably remains partial and becomes an abstraction. And the pain continues. How can I penetrate the problem without it becoming theoretic? I am in pain. However I may try to meet it, I do not come to the totality or the end of the fact. It invariably remains partial and becomes an abstraction. And the pain continues. How can I penetrate the problem without it becoming theoretical? Right? The questioner is you and I. The questioner, which is you and I, say, I am in pain. Not merely physical pain, but the psychological pain which I have endured for many, many years. And I have tried to analyze it. I've tried to understand it. I've tried to go to the very root of it, which is the totality. And at the end of my long, strenuous inquiry, I've still the pain left. And apparently, it's becoming an abstraction, a theory which I'm grappling with, not with the fact, but my appreciation and my investigating has made me made that an abstraction. You follow this? Right? I wonder, are you tired? I've pain. Pain psychologically means here, I think. I may have physical pain, but I can put up with it. Or go to a doctor, I can do something about it. But the psychological pain, it is a fact. I know it as a fact because I have pain every day of it. But in the process of understanding the pain, my understanding is partial. And being partial, it becomes gradually an abstraction. So I have a problem now. The pain and the abstraction, which is born out of the examination, which is not complete. I made an abstraction of a theory of it. You follow? That is, I have pain. I am wounded. We'll use that word. I am wounded, hurt. It's pain. And gradually it has become an idea. You follow? So I have now a different problem. The idea opposing the fact. I want to pursue all this. Right? Can we go on with this? We are divided that way, the idea and the fact. Or the idea about the fact. Right? See what how we are complicating everything. The fact is there, I am hurt. Then I have an idea, which is I must not be hurt. And how am I then to get out of it? Not to be hurt. The idea becomes far more important than the pain itself, because my whole endeavor is directed towards moving away from it. Right? That becomes the theory, a theory which is being opposed, which is opposed to the fact. See, this is our life. The Bible, the Upanishads, the Gita and the Quran say something, and our life is different. So there is always this battle, conflict, the idea and the fact. The meaning of that word idea, originally Greek and so on, is to observe. You understand? To observe what is, not make an abstraction of it. Right? We live in abstractions. I wonder if you see all this. My husband should be that. My wife is not that. You follow? I am brutal, I must not be brutal. So on, so on. Always the avoidance of the fact by escaping to the theory, to the idea, to the ideal. If that's clear, then the question is, I am hurt. I have been wounded from childhood. Right? From my parents, from other boys, because I happen to be a little sensitive. My parents have scolded me, beaten me, harsh words, do, don't do, and the other boys too. So right through life, school, college, university, if I'm lucky enough, I'm being hurt all along. Being compared with somebody much better than I am. Much more clever, giving greater marks. You follow? This whole educational movement is a process of getting hurt. Compare, compare, compare. You are not important, the other fellow is important. This is actual, I'm not exaggerating. So, I'm hurt, that's a fact. I'm hurt. Huh? The gentleman probably means in this question, I'm in pain. We are taking it for granted that it's not physical pain, but psychological pain. I may be wrong, we may be wrong. We are talking about psychological pain, right? So the pain is being wounded, being hurt, being criticized, being scolded. All that is the pain. Or the pain that I have induced by wanting something more than I'm capable of. By comparing myself with somebody who is far more intelligent, brighter, nicer looking and all that, and through that comparison I've hurt myself. This is a common factor for all human beings, this goes on. So I am hurt. And I've analyzed it, and analysis hasn't solved the problem. I do not know if you want to go into the whole meaning of analysis, perhaps not now, because there is no analyzer is not different from the analyzed. It's a waste of energy to analyze. I don't understand what the gentleman is saying. What's up? I don't quite follow what you are saying, sir.
Pain is just an illusion, and by talking about it, we just lead ourselves into it. So why don't we talk about the beautiful things?
Why don't I talk about beautiful things? Why talk about pain? If the more you talk about it, the more you strengthen it, the gentleman says. Yes, sir, I've got it. Now we have talked about beauty. Beauty is not the opposite of ugly. Pain is not the opposite of not having pain. It's pain. When you talk about the opposite, you are avoiding the present. Sir, would you mind let me finish what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I am part of the present as well, so I'm able to make that as well. You make something, I make something else. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, I'm trying, sir, we are trying to answer the question.
Yeah, but you're saying pain is real, and I'm saying it's not real.
All right, toothache is not real. Pain, you understand, is not real, the gentleman says. Perhaps to him it's not real, but most human beings, it's a very real thing. And that's why great many hospitals are crowded with these people who have pain, who have not been able to solve, and go off into neurotic states, and these hospitals are filled with them. So we're not talking something unreal, illusory. It's an actual fact. Please let me, if you don't mind, sir, let's finish this question. If you don't want to listen, close your ears. Yeah. Arrivederci, signore. Aren't we most of us hurt? Or we are unaware of that hurt. Or we have totally become used to it, and therefore we don't know we are hurt. It's like living in a filthy slum, and we are used to it. And we are talking about actual psychological pain. when you are not loved and you want to be loved. When you love somebody and that somebody turns his back on you, that you're hurt. We know all this as well as we know toothache. So we are talking about this deep psychological hurt. We are not exaggerating it. We are not emphasizing that hurt by talking about it. But we are looking at it together. We are communicating with each other about it. And to communicate with each other, we must employ words. If we spoke Italian or French, it would be Italian or French. But as we're speaking in English, it must be in English, which is to use English words to communicate about something which is common to all of us, which is being hurt in different ways. And if one becomes conscious of it, aware of it, and sees the consequences of that hurt, that is, fear, not to get more hurt, so building a wall around oneself, isolating oneself, afraid of others who might hurt you, always seeking companions who will be pleasant, and avoiding, always on your tenterhooks. You follow? Nervous. So gradually you become neurotic. The consequences of that hurt is not only a withdrawal from other human beings who might hurt, but also gradual isolation taking place. And through that isolation, all kinds of neurotic habits and attitudes and behavior. So, when one observes this, is the hurt different from you who have an image about yourself? You understand my question? That is, I have an image about myself. I'm a great man, or I'm this or that. And that image has been created from childhood. You must be somebody. Julius Caesar, if possible, or great saint, if possible, or the top executive, or one of those politicians. You must be somebody. And gradually, one builds up an image about oneself. Noble or ignoble, insufficient or sufficient, there is that image, in most people. And when you say something harsh, be my wife, husband, or friend, or neighbor, I am hurt, which is the image is hurt, which I have created about myself. That image is me. And when I say I am hurt, I am saying not only the image, which I am, but also the maker of that image. You follow me? So, I am not different from the image which I have built about myself. And when there is hurt, it is the image that is hurt, with which I have identified myself as the me. So I say I am hurt. And whole society, the social structure, the moral, the religious structure is helping me to maintain that image. obviously. And so, as long as I have that image, I'm going to be hurt. Do what I will, try to suppress it, run away from it, analyze it, go to analysts and all the rest of it, it always will remain because I have the image about myself. Now, the question is it possible to live without a single image? That's the real question. Not how to be not hurt, or being hurt, how to be free of that hurt. But the real question is, as long as there is an image, that image will retain that memory of that hurt and avoid the future hurts. So the question is it possible not to have a single image about your country, about yourself, about anything? Why do we have images about ourselves and about our neighbor, wife, somebody or that? Why? About a politician, you have all images, haven't you? About, who's the present minister here? Oh, Miss Thatcher. You all have images about everybody. But the most important image is yourself. Why? Is it because it gives one a security, a port of safety? A port which is permanent, which is unshakable, secure, and that image sustains you. And that image, as long as it exists, however much it may protect you, is going to be hurt. There's always somebody better. More beautiful, more clever, more this, more that. So the question is not how to be rid of the image, or what the machinery that makes the image, which is fairly simple, which is our thinking about ourselves endlessly. That's not the question, but the question is it possible to live a life without a single image? Living in this modern world that demands that you have an image, and be completely free of no image. Because you say image is inevitably going to be hurt. Inevitable. And if you like being hurt and enjoy being hurt, there are people, sadistic and neurotic and all kinds of people, love that kind of thing. A friend of mine long ago said, how can you say to me, he said to me, how can you say love cannot exist where there's jealousy? And the friend said, but if I'm not jealous of my wife, I have no love for her. You understand? So similarly, I realize as long as I have an image, I shall be hurt. That's a fact. And my inquiry now is to live without a single image. And it is possible, totally. Don't accept my word for it, but you can inquire into it yourself if you want to. To live a life without a single image about anything. Only when you realize the nature of that image, how it has been put together, how thought and desire and all the things sustain it, when you see the fact of it, the truth of it, then the image maker comes to an end. And there you are, a mind that has no image, which means a mind that's totally, completely free. And most people don't want to be free. It's too frightening. So they go back to their pet image. So, at the end of this morning talk for an hour and a half nearly, where are we? Do we actually see an image is the most destructive way of living? Do we actually see that following another will never cure our illness? The cure, sanity, health lies when one is totally alike to oneself.